Hey, it's Palm Deep here and I'm in Wakefield today. I'm really pleased. I'm with Carla at her letting agency. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. I'm really pleased because Carla started her letting agency only 12 months ago.
Yeah, just over 12 months.
Just over 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Already she's got 40 properties under management. So you've got 40 properties under management, you've got 20 odd properties yourself.
That's right.
You're buying and selling something like 2 properties a month.
That's correct.
To your landlords.
Yeah.
And what I'd really love to talk about is your very unique business model that you've got, because a lot of people are investing and they've got a letting agency, but what you seem to have done really well is merge the two.
Yeah.
What made you start a letting agency? What was the reason for it?
Truly speaking, I had a portfolio of properties and they were all being managed by the estate agents or letting agents, and they were not doing the job right, and it was always me chasing up the rental payments or doing all the job out. So I thought, why not start a letting agency to manage my own portfolio? That's how it started. But then now, because I'm sourcing 2 deals a month to investors, and most of my investors they live in abroad or they're across the country somewhere in England, and they can't manage the properties, so they trust me and they just leave it to me. So I do 2 businesses at one time, source the deal and then manage the properties for them, fully managed. So
Great, okay. Should we go inside and talk a bit further about what you're doing?
yeah,
Okay.
fine.
Okay, we're now in Carla's letting agency. Thanks for inviting us. It's very kind of you.
Pleasure.
And one thing I really like about what you've done is you've created a great business model. You've managed to create a cash flow generating letting agency. You've created a cash flow generating property portfolio. You've created a cash flow generating property sourcing business for investors. And you managed to create these multiple income streams, which I think is really, really unique. And you brought it all together into one roof. So you've got this office here. You've got a great team that helps you systemize and do all of that. So really impressive. And what made you kind of put together the sourcing side first of all for investors? I know you're running a great sourcing business as well. So what made you start that off and how does that work?
Because I'm in contact with a lot of professional people who find it very difficult to find properties, or they are interested in investing in properties. They've got the money, but they exactly don't know where to start from and where to go about. And that's when I decided, right, possibly sourcing properties to these kind of investors might be really good, because it helps me in 2 ways. One is to source the property and then to manage the property, which will be a fully managed service for our letting agency. So that is how I started sourcing properties, and if any good deal comes, I do buy it myself and then let it out, or I do give it to other investors as well. But the deals that I pass on is the one that if I wouldn't buy that deal, I wouldn't pass on to my investor as well. So it's
It tends to be deals that you're only selling on because they may be a bit too far away, or there's some other reason why you don't want to buy it for yourself.
Yeah, because most of my deals have been just in West Yorkshire area.
West Yorkshire.
West Yorkshire. So it doesn't matter whether it's far away or we do get a lot of inquiries from other places, but I find it a bit difficult to go around, and because if it's further away, just pass it on to somebody else who lives nearby.
Yeah.
But all the ones in West Yorkshire, I try and give it to all my doctor investors who have the money, but they don't have the time to manage the properties, or they don't know where to start from. They don't know where to look for a property, how to look for a property, and they don't know which is a good area for renting. So
they value what you're doing for them because you're adding a lot of value. You're on the ground, you know what you're doing in terms of looking at properties. And they've got the money. I think you've gone for a very good market, because doctors are people who have got great incomes.
Yeah.
They just haven't got much time, so they're perfect for what you're trying to do.
That's right. Yeah.
So I know you've systemized really well. You've got a great team here. Should we introduce the girls quickly?
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
This is Azra.
Say hi.
Hi.
And that is Sarah.
Hiya.
Yeah. Okay, so I know that the girls. So what do you guys get responsible for? Because I know you're guys very good at systemizing and putting things in place. So I know, for example, you get calls from landlords, and how do you sort of deal with the deals as they come in? I know people sometimes walk in as well.
Yeah.
So how does all that work?
These are the girls who take the first step. When they walk in, they take the details and then it gets passed on to me. And then I follow it up from there. I go and negotiate. If it's a deal, I go and negotiate myself.
Right.
And if it's a lettings, usually Sarah goes and negotiate on the letting properties.
Did you find is that straightforward? Is there any difficulties? Pretty easy to do?
Yeah.
Good. How about yourself? What do you get involved with?
It's mostly admin stuff and phone calls and everything mixed.
Making sure it all runs smoothly.
Yeah.
And I should say she's very organized in admin work, because even somebody has to be really good
Yeah.
doing that, chasing up the calls, and knows exactly what to do if there is an issue with the tenant. So
That's
she
great.
does all the admin part of it.
Making sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, so really, I mean, because a lot of people I think who might be watching this video think of a letting agency as maybe 10 people and salesperson doing this and a manager doing something else and a big massive office and team. You've got a great team of 2 people and yourself.
Mhm.
You're managing 40 properties already.
Mhm.
You could probably manage twice that much and it still
Yeah.
wouldn't affect your team so much.
That's what our aim is.
Oh, good.
We have got a big target
Yeah.
that we are going to achieve, I'm sure.
I'm sure you will.
And the other thing what I do is for deals,
Mhm.
I liaise with agents, estate agents.
Mhm.
They're just across the road, and if they can't sell a property and they know some vendors who are motivated, they just come to me and they're more than happy for me to go do the negotiation and then pass on to my investors, because
Okay.
for them they're selling the property, I get my commission and they get their commission from the seller.
Perfect.
So
That's really good. So so I think what's coming through here is you're not willing to kind of just put yourself in a box and say, I'm an investor. All I do is I buy a house, I rent it out, and that's it. You're very open-minded in ways in which you can put deals together.
yeah,
And that's what's allowed you to have all these multiple income streams.
yeah,
Whether you've got the lettings, you've then expanded the lettings to do deal sourcing because you've got these landlords and investors through
Yeah.
there, and you've managed to then build up this kind of empire really. And I think it's really good. Internet marketing.
It's only the beginning. So internet
you've been
marketing
doing it for a
is
year.
mainly cold calling, mailing letters to a lot of landlords from Gumtree and all the free websites.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're going to be revealing a lot more at the Underground Investor Summit in
Yeah.
June 25th and 26th. So you're going to be talking about exactly which websites you use, but just give us 2 of the sort of important ones that you're focusing on. So Gumtree and
Gumtree
LinkedIn.
we are focusing, and what else do we do? We email them, isn't it? A lot of landlords. We do go onto the right move and find all the properties that have been on the market for a long time, whether it's lettings or whether it's sale property, and we send them a marketing letter saying that it's been there for a while, so would you like to consider us? So we do get quite a few response from there as well.
Right, good. So in terms of your sourcing setup, are you sourcing about 2 properties a month?
Kind of, yes.
So for someone watching this video, what sort of, if they wanted to source a similar amount, you're probably earning fees of about, what's the average fee on a property if you were going to charge?
3 grand to 5 grand, based
That's not
on
bad then, is it?
based on how much equity is in the property.
So on average, you could be earning, for someone just starting out sourcing, they could be doing 1 deal a month, so that's 3k a month,
Yeah, 3k a month. Yeah.
and then 2 of them you're earning more like 6, 7, up to 10k,
Yeah.
which is great because for most people that's enough to get out their job and
Yeah.
do whatever they want. So is
That's
it difficult to source deals for investors?
It takes a little bit time, but once you have built your name, then one investor just pass on your details to others, and that's how most of my investors are word of mouth. They
Good.
don't even live in the UK. Some of them are like in South Africa and Dubai, and they have relatives who live near my house, and that's how they bought the properties. And we manage those properties, and one is going to be completed sometime next month.
Okay.
So we'll be taking on that property as well as a fully managed property.
Tell me about your strategy, because I know you're building various different businesses. So you've got your own investment portfolio,
Yeah.
which is great for cash flow. You've got your letting agency, again cash flow, deal
Yeah.
sourcing, and everything else. What's your strategy going forward? How are you gonna? What's your next sort of 5-year plan?
5-year plan, actually speaking, I might just sell this business. That's what I'm thinking eventually. But we should be sourcing more deals every month. Average, I'm thinking around 4 to 5 deals in a month. That's what I'm aiming at by end of this year, and take on more let properties. So
Keep building it up.
that's correct.
Good. What about your motivation? What got you started in property? What was your motivation?
Like I mentioned in my previous summit itself, that I wasn't very well and I had to go for a major surgery, and following that I was off sick for quite a while, and I didn't think that I could go back into teaching because it involved a lot of physical work doing with young children. And that's when I came across this Tycoon Mastermind Alliance.
I remember when we first met.
Yes, Tycoon Forum, that's how it started, and I remember it was January 2009. And just browsing through the forum, I decided that I want to build a portfolio of properties. Plus, I wanted to have a self-sustaining business, which I didn't have to worry about my income, monthly income. And that's how it all started. Started with buying properties, and since joining TMA, I think I've bought about 10 properties. And this year, again, I bought like about 5 or 6 properties. So altogether, I bought about 15 properties since joining TMA. And most of my properties were being managed by the letting agencies, different agencies, and they were not doing the job right. And that's how I decided to start my own agency, initially to manage my own properties, and then slowly then started sourcing deals, and I take over those properties as well. So we are doing quite well. We do have landlords who come into our office, and I think location does matter quite a lot in this business.
Because you've picked it well, you've got this is a high street we're on, there are other agents around.
That's correct.
I know one thing I like about what you've done outside is you've got great lighting onto your signage. Now if we can just pan round to the windows, I saw something interesting we picked out. The next door neighbour is some other kind of a company, and they've just got their logo on their window, which doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You've been smart, you've realised that people driving by,
Yeah.
they need to see what you actually do. So you've got
Yeah.
we let properties, we buy properties, and as you mentioned, people see those and walk straight into the door because they know what you do, and they want to sell their property. Or
That's right.
it's
Because
great.
we have advertised as we buy properties in any condition, so that's another reason why they come in.
I bet you must get all sorts then.
We did have a weird one who came in, who was getting repossessed next day, and he came into
Next
the door.
Did you
I
manage
said,
to
what
help
were
him?
you do? We tried, but he wouldn't agree on a price. We said we'll pay off the
Right.
mortgage, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was too short notice. He came around in the afternoon. Was that right? He came around 1 o'clock, and he's saying 10 o'clock is my repossession. I said, what were you doing for the last 2 months?
I know, beggars belief, don't it? Great. No, I think that's fantastic the way you've really kind of gone from financially free. You were pretty much financially free quite
Yeah.
soon once
Yeah.
you kind of started buying properties. Now it's a case of building those businesses and
That's
doing
right.
that. I think it's great. I'm really looking forward to. I know you're going to be sharing the leaflet that you use to source a lot of your properties at the Underground Investors Summit, 25th and 26th of June. That's going to be great to see that, because I know a lot of people do kind of have that question of how do we find these properties and what's the strategy that you use. I know you also work with estate agents.
Yeah.
Are there any kind of creative strategies that you're using aside from the sourcing? Have you tried lease options or anything of that nature?
I'm thinking of lease options, but I haven't done it yet. I prefer doing a direct sale, which I find it more easy. Anything that is a BMV, because the BMV properties that I get are like from 20%, 15-20% to up to 40%. So
Just buy them.
yeah,
And you're done.
just buy them or just source it to an investor and make money. Just keep going.
Brilliant. Just to finish off, what advice would you give to somebody watching this who is perhaps in the same position you were in 18 months ago, wants to start in property?
I think you just need to be positive, and if I can do it, everybody else can do it. You just need the perseverance, be positive, and if you think you're going to do it, it's all in your mind. If you think positive and if you're thinking you can do it, you can definitely do it.
And you're a great example. I think it's going to be great to kind of have you at the summit and having you share. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Lee.